Does that work? Hi. So I thought for this video, I would not go personal. Where the fuck did this come from? And I would maybe instead talk about media, cinema, because I am a cinephile. I have a Letterboxd account. I thought I would go through the best movies of the year so far. Since we're halfway through the year, I mean more than halfway. Where does the time go? But yeah, I like to keep track of like my new faves, and it can be like releases from this year or obviously from before. Non-judgmental. If it was just from this year, then it wouldn't be very many, I'll tell you that much. But actually this year has been good for movies. But yeah, another thing I was going to say about Letterboxd is I think I'm finally cured of the one-liner itis that everyone seems to be plagued with in reviews. Like, it's always a quippy one-line comment, and I'm not about that life. I think I started to realise how annoying it was like in the last 6 months, and I was just like, guys, let's be sincere, let's speak from our hearts and souls and actually like maybe go into depth about what we like. But I've maybe not reached the levels of like you know, the bit before a recipe where someone's telling you about like their divorce. Reached a comfortable medium where I'm critical and complimentary, and I say my piece and I relate it to my life in some way, and then I get the fuck out of there. Anyway, I've just written the list in my diary and I'm gonna go through it. So, first things first, Poor Things. Obviously. I mean, visually stunning. I recently went to see Kinds of Kindness, and I like it worked for me in some aspects and it didn't in some others. And I feel like the way Kinds of Kindness lacked for me, where Poor Things didn't, is that Poor Things is actually based on a story that exists and it wasn't just like written for a movie. So I think because it had that basis, there was more there to like get into and more character. Kinds of Kindness didn't feel like fully fleshed out in the way that Poor Things did. Next we have Heat from 1995. This is starring Bobby De Niro and Al Pacino, obviously, and most importantly Val Kilmer. Okay, Val Kilmer could have been a contender to shove Brad Pitt out of the way if he had so chosen. Okay, he had the looks, he had the ability. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. Anyway, Heat, so good. It's a heist movie. It's a cat and mouse story. It's a love story, okay? When there's a moment where Bobby De Niro, I'm not gonna spoil it, Bobby De Niro and his girlfriend, I can't remember who she's played by, are about to go somewhere, but then Bobby De Niro does a U-turn and I cried. It was very emotional to me. Anyway, wow. Also very gay. I mean, most of the movies I watch, even if there's not something gay going on, I assume that it's gay because it's more fun to live like that. Next viewing of 2024 that I loved is Petite Maman by Céline Sciamma. It came out in 2021, so it's recent enough, and I had been meaning to watch it since it came out essentially, but I just like kept putting off because I was just like, I'm not ready. And I think that's fine. Like, it's good to have that, to just like allow it to come to you instead of forcing yourself. Like, I think that with many things, like with music and with movies and books, like some things just come to you when they're meant to instead of immediately upon release. Like, when you're peripherally aware of them, it's better to have them come to you in a more organic way than to like force yourself, if that makes sense. I don't know. I probably would have still enjoyed it when it came out. But yeah, that one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Daughters will understand. Just any daughter. I don't know. It's so like wow. It's very moving. Yeah, and I love a time loop. I mean, is it a time loop? Not really. Kind of. I don't think that spoils anything because I think that's part of the synopsis. But yeah, that one was beautiful. And I think like not too long after I watched All of Us Strangers, which has a kind of similar plot line of like meeting your parent younger or like meeting your parent post like later in life and like a time travel supernatural element to it. And I think Petite Maman did it better because it's French. And what I mean by that is the French are not scared to just like end a movie, no explanation. You can figure it out yourself, okay? The French are not handholdy at all in their filmmaking. They're like, you can make of this what you want. We don't know either. You can metaphors sort it out. Like Hollywood is just like, let us tell you what happened. Let us explain it. Whereas the French are just like, you saw it. We made it that way as well. Like we don't know. Like you, did you watch it? Come to your own conclusions. So yeah, I think that works better for things like that where you either get it or you don't. Next one, Anatomy of a Fall. That was huge. That was huge. Another win for the French. Yeah, Anatomy of a Fall. What more can be said? That was sublime. Also, it was shot where I grew up from the ages of 4 till 8. But you can only see like 2 scenes in the actual city. So I was like, I don't know where that is. But yeah, that was a really good one. I think when it finally made its way to like streaming services, I was like, Mum, you have to watch this. Because I knew she would like it, and because it's in French, I knew she would like it as well, because she loves to watch things in Francais. And her conclusion of it was so different than mine. Like, I was like, I believe her, believe women. And she was like, nah, she's wrong. And so, I mean, the jury's still out. The jury is us. This is the thing, like, that's a prime example of the French movie syndrome. It's just like, is she? Isn't she? We don't know. We don't know. Next one, An Affair to Remember, came out in 1957. Let's not talk about it. An Affair to Remember, I was almost sick from crying. Like, it was bad. It was so emotional. Oh, God. I mean, where to even begin? So, Cary Grant, I can't remember who the girlie is. Italy, boat, love, affairs, clues in the name, babe, An Affair to Remember. Oh, just the imagery is so beautiful to look at. It's so like sweeping and cinematic and grand. And oh my god, the ending is. I literally had forgotten about the ending until just now. Don't, I'm gonna be sick. So yeah, I was also very, very emotional at that moment in time. I think this was like February or something. It was around about that time. That was the trenches for real. And yeah, that proceed with caution. But yeah, that is gorgeous. I mean, Cary Grant is just so good in it. I just love any Cary Grant movies, to be honest. I think he's like one of the greatest actors that we were ever blessed with. Like, that man. And it's because he was gay. Nothing else to say. Next, Robot Dreams, which is an animation. And there's no speaking. Like, there's no. What does that? Yeah, like it's a it's a non-talkie. It's a silent movie, and it's about a robot and a dog who become besties. And in my opinion, lovers, but not everyone's gonna see it that way. Whatever. Anyway, that was again like I was bawling for hours on end, and it was so bad that I watched the trailer for it the day after to post on my Instagram story, and I cried all over again. I was just like, I can't do this. Can't fucking do this. Very heartbreaking. If you watched Past Lives, it's essentially Past Lives, but it's a animated robot and dog. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, beautiful, so funny as well. Great use of a song. Skating, as in roller skating, and yeah, the art style is very like, I don't know, you would know what I mean. It's very like, maybe not quite Adventure Time, but like the era that followed it. Do you know what I mean? Like kind of like Bob's Burgersy. But I think it's still a triumph. Okay, next, another oldie, The Apartment from 1960, Billy Wilder. Yeah, yep. I had been meaning to watch it for years. I would see gift sets all over the internet. The poster for it is stunning. Like, it's very Hitchcockian. Like, it doesn't look like it's gonna be what it is. It looks like almost like a thriller, but it's like a zany comedy. Although it gets very serious. Like, there's a lot of like heavy subject matter. But yeah, just gorgeous. They just don't make them like that anymore, guys. They just don't make them like that anymore. Next one is La Quimera. I can't remember her name, the director, and it stars, you know, I literally can't remember his name. Josh? Okay. Gorgeous, set in Italy, and it's set in like the 90s, I want to say. And literally I could tell that from the first shot, because the opening shot is of what's his chops close up on the train while he's sleeping, and it's like a close up of like this area, and you can see a close up of his shirt, and it looks like really thick fabric, and he's wearing like a linen blazer, thick, good quality fabric. I mean, I'm a textile girly, so I just like, I can tell just from look alone that it's a good material and that it was not made in the 2020s. Like, clothes now are so badly made, and you can tell, like, the heaviness of cloth from 20 years ago is just astounding. Like, it's such a marvel to look at. There was actually a gift set that I saw recently of like a close-up of Agent Mulder's suit from X-Files, and I knew instantly who it was, first of all, which is great characterization, but I knew how good the quality of the cloth was just from that gif alone. Like, just, ugh, take me back, take me back. Anyway, great movie, La Quimera. Again, very like open-ended, like kind of like dreamy, doesn't really explain things to you. What I loved about that as well, actually, that filmmaker, I watched like another short movie that she did, and she really likes to use like sped up footage, and it kind of adds like comedy to it, and it also kind of harkens you back to like 1930s, 1940s movies, which I think is just so cool. Like, I think that's a really good touch. We need to bring that back to cinema, because like the slow-mo, I'm done. I mean, it does work. Next we have Challengers. Obviously, Josh O'Connor. I watched La Chimera first and then watched Challengers, I think. So that was the Josh O'Connor double bill extravaganza fiesta, and what a treat. What else is there to be said about Challengers that hasn't been said already? I would love to rewatch it now that I've like stewed on it a lot more and like gone crazy in my room about it. But yeah, and I was, before it even came out, before I went to see it, the OST dropped, the one mixed by Boys Noise, and I was listening to that in the gym every single time, and it was great. Just such a good soundtrack. And then the last one for now, the 10th one, is Rope, 1948 by Alfred Hitchcock. And that one is very gay. That one is not even subtext. Like, that's text. It's textual gay. And it has... I don't know why I'm insisting on naming the actors when I can't remember any of them. It has that guy in it. And it's like a murder mystery, obviously, because it's a Hitchcock. It's just so good. So good. It's very much a play, like it's based on a play anyway, but it feels like a play because it's all on the same set, and it's like you'll hear a bit of a conversation and it fades out to another conversation even though it's supposed to be happening like 2 feet away from each other. Yeah, just so stunning. It's so crazy how people were able to make movies like that were so captivating and so like agonizing and just dramatic with one set. I would love to see that happen again. Like, let's bring that back. One sound set, no outdoor shots, and just a camera pointed at actors. Like, let's bring back real acting. Jimmy Stewart, that's his name. Anyway, yeah, that one was crazy. That one was really crazy. It's very simple as well. Like, it happens over the course of an evening, and the last like 5 minutes of that, the soundscape of the whole scene is just absolutely gorgeous. Like, the sound design, man, I hope that guy got some sloppy because it was sublime. It was honestly so good. Yeah, there was one of the actors in it who just had like the most pathetic little puppy dog face. He was so gorgeous. Like, it's so crazy that people can look like that. It's so crazy that beautiful people like that exist and have always existed. Like, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? Yeah, and that was the last good movie I watched, and that was almost a month ago. Literally this past month, it's been dud after dud, unfortunately. Or it's just been like ones that I just don't know what to make of, and that I kind of think I need to stew on a bit more. Yeah, nary a movie has hit more than 3 stars on my Letterboxd this past month, which is very sad. So I think I'm gonna have to go into like my actual watch list instead of just putting on anything just to take over my mind a little bit. Yeah, maybe next time I'll actually go over the duds, over the ones that literally don't even have a star, because there has been a few this year and I have many things to talk about because I'm a hater. It's the next day, but I forgot to kind of film an outro yesterday because I started rambling on about something else and then realised I'd been talking for 20 minutes or something. So hope you liked it. Thank you for watching. Let me know your favourite watches of the year so far, old or new, and see you later.